Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome to your number one source for Native American television news. It's Native News Today. Gerald Wofford along with Jason Salzman. And Gerald, I just got to say it's so great to have you in the studio 2 weeks in a row. We started getting, we started getting a little bit lost there without you, and so good to have you here by my side again. And got a great show lined up. Hey, it is festival weekend here at the Muskogee Creek Nation.
That's right. While you are watching this show here, L-I-V-E, that we used to say in the past there, actually, the 38th Annual Muskogee Creek Nation Festival is happening in Okmulgee right now. We hope that you get a chance to partake in some of the great festivities here. We'll kind of go down some of the events that are happening this weekend, but as you mentioned, Jason, it is festival time.
So many things going on in the Okmulgee area right now. You know, all things Creek this weekend in Okmulgee. We're going to have bow shooting, entertainment, arts and crafts, gospel singing, native hymn singing, a stomp dance. I mean, if you want to get totally ingrained in the Muskogee Creek, Creek culture, come on down to Okmulgee out at the Claude Cox Omniplex and various other places throughout our complex too to find all these things. But it's the best time of the year.
I think so. You know, I mean, it's a great way to kick off summer. You want to see Native America, Native Oklahoma, if you will, at its best. The Creek Nation Festival certainly fits that bill. And Jason, so many great events happening here at this time. Of course, the parade's winded up. The golf tournament's going on. Rodeo's happening that night, Gladys night, and the Temptations. I was going to say the Pips, but it's the Temptations that will be with her. That's tonight. And all these events, they are free of charge. Free and open to the public. And as a special treat, before the Gladys Night show and everything gets kicked off there, John Beaver will ride into the Claude Cox Omniplex, ending the Okmulgee to Okmulgee. And we got a story on him this week. So don't go anywhere. We got a great show. This is our first break. You're watching Native News Today.
Since the dawn of the Muskogee Creek Nation, the traditional rhythmic sound of the turtle shells has been the heart of the ceremonial stomp dance. A living legacy passed to each new generation. This tradition, this legacy, this heart, this is the Muskogee Creek Nation of Oklahoma.
And welcome back to Native News Today. Jason Salzman, Gerald Wofford here, kicking off this special festival weekend, the 38th Annual Muskogee Creek Nation Festival happening in Okmulgee. We hope that you get a chance, if you haven't already, to come down to Okmulgee, partake in some of the great events happening this weekend, all free, open to the public, great family event, so many things happening. We'll talk a little bit more about it in the program, but we want to continue on with our news stories right now. Jason had a chance to go over to Muskogee, where a very special event is going to be happening.
Yes, that's right, Gerald. And everybody out there that knows Muskogee knows Bacone College, the home of Bacone College. And some of our own, really, I guess you could say, our famous creeks from that area over there, Pete Koser. And Dr. Pete Koser, big OSU fan, always gives me a hard time about that. Every time he asks me, or sees me, he asks me about that Bedlam game last year. And I got to remind him that they have to repay the visit to Norman this year. So, no, but it's always good visiting with Dr. Koster, and really he's so excited about a big event that they got coming up, the Murrow Indian Children's Home, very famous place there at Bacone College. They have a benefit powwow coming up for the Murrow Indian Children's Home. He's very excited about it. I went over to the Murrow home, visited with him and some of the folks there about this great event, and we're glad to have it for you today.
I'm from Bacone College and the Center for American Indians, and we will be the hosts for the benefit powwow for the Murrow Indian Children's Home, and they will be the sponsor. So we believe it's a good opportunity to help students and to help Murrow and the good job that they do here, and try to provide much support as we can. The powwow is June the 30th, which is on a Saturday, begins at 3 o'clock with gourd dancing, 5 supper, and 6 o'clock get back into gourd dancing, and 7 o'clock the evening program, and then finish off with the closing around 11 o'clock. And again, it's a benefit for the Murrow Indian Children's Home, so that will be the focus of the powwow. We have, as head staff, we have head singer and Joe Deerenwater from Tahlequah, and the master of ceremonies is Chuji Kingfisher. The head man dancer is Eric Hicks from Okima and Muskogee as well. And the head lady dancer is Savannah Waters, the current Ponca Princess, and she has also Creek ancestry. We have the head gourd dancer Eli Crows from Tulsa, and I believe he has Creek ancestry as well, and I believe Cheyenne. Hopefully that's correct. And also we have, as the arena director, we have Robbie Ankew from Tulsa, and very much a supporter of Monroe Indian Children's Home and president of the Tulsa Powwow Club. So that's the head staff that we have and the agenda or program. Again, it's a benefit for Monroe Indian Children's Home, and we're going to just do what we can to have a good time, and people come enjoy themselves and bring their chairs, and the head staff is a relatively young head staff, and with purpose in mind, and again working with this particular home here, and again to enjoy ourselves, and also to bring in a young head staff, and we're looking forward to the children being there as well, and just a lot of good things going to happen that day, and it's just a pleasure to help them and work with them and to have our relationship grow. A lot of good things happening here at Bacone. Bacone is unique in itself as an institution. You look at state institutions where they receive a state appropriation and a lot of federal funding, and tribal colleges support from the tribe. But Bacone, we're dependent on enrollment, and so sometimes we lack in resources, but a lot of good people here and a lot of good programs coming about.
Monroe Indian Children's Home was established shortly after the Civil War by Reverend J.S. Murrow, and for a time it was actually on the Bacone campus, and then about 1956 I think that it was the buildings that you see out back were erected and became Monroe Indian Children's Home. The relationship we have with Bacone is very beneficial for us as well as for the children. At the present time, we have several students from Bacone that are working in the cottages, helping the house parents, and these students went through the same background checks and everything as our house parents do, so they are able to work in the cottages and help the students, help the house parents with the children. And also Bacone sends students down to provide cultural activities for our children, like beading, basket weaving. So we have a very good relationship with Bacone, and I don't know what we would do without them. I think that there will probably be a lot of people that come to the powwow that know about Murrow but have not actually been on the campus. And so I think this is a very good opportunity for them to see what the campus looks like, and for us to possibly recruit some sponsors and mentors for our children.
You know, Jason, we were talking about the Creek Nation Festival, which always occurs in June. Another great event happening in the state of Oklahoma, more out in the western part of the state, if you will, is the Red Earth Festival.
That's right, Gerald, and it's sort of the precursor to the Creek Festival every year, kind of gets everyone ready, gets them fired up for the Creek Nation Festival our way. But it's nice to go over to Oklahoma City and visit and see all the great things happening there at Red Earth. You know, it started with very humble beginnings long ago. You know, I was even talking with my grandmother. She remembers the very first Red Earth. She actually took a group of students from Morris Schools up to Red Earth because she was the JOM coordinator there at Morris Schools at the time. So she was in on the very first one. I talked with Chief Tiger actually in this story about the very first one. He remembers that very fondly, and we also talked about its humble beginnings and to what it's become now, one of the biggest festivals of Indian art and culture in the entire world. And you find it in downtown Oklahoma City. And really what's neat about this year was there was such a big Muskogee Creek Nation presence at this parade, and we had to get it. You know, if anything's going on with Muskogee Creek Nation that much involved, Native News Today will be there. And we went down and seen all the Muskogee Creek Nation departments, our administration, lined up and ready for the Red Earth Festival parade.
I can remember the very first, actually, Red Earth. A little hint of controversy because at that time the tribes were looking at doing some things with the state of Oklahoma, and of course they started this festival. It really has grown from humble beginnings to where now a lot of people, especially on a powwow circuit, if you will, put it on their calendar to make sure it's a stop on that circuit. So it's really a fun, festive time during this time of the year here in Oklahoma City, especially when it comes to tribal traditions and culture. It's ironic that we're here today because we're also revitalizing, if you will, the Intertribal Council of 5 Civilized Tribes. From here we'll be going back to Norman for a general session this afternoon. So it's a little bit of fun, it's a little bit of work, but all it entails the workings and the job duties of the Principal Chief of the Muskogee Creek Nation.
The Red Earth parade and I know the powwow's grown, and a lot of people get excited about this, especially here in the city. The powwow's a big thing throughout. Kind of, I guess, as opposed to stomp dances, it's what people identify Indians with that type of ceremony. But to be the second chief and representing the Muskogee Creek Nation is certainly an honor, and being in the parade for the first time is a good feeling to know that the other tribes see the nation and being participants in an organization and an event such as this. And we're excited about not just the administration getting the support from other programs and departments throughout the tribe, but for Chief and I to be here and for our first time and have our support staff to be here is we're excited about today. We're excited about the intertribal going on right down the road. It's an awesome event. Setting the executive meetings yesterday afternoon. They're all excited. We're all excited. So it all kind of come together for us with during the Red Earth Fest powwow and the intertribal. So we're excited about this weekend.
Today is a great day for a parade.
Excited to be at Red Earth for representing college.
Look at all of this Muskogee people here with our indigenous brothers and sisters. It's a good day to be Native.
College of the Muskogee Nation also having a great presence here. We saw the bus go through a while ago, but just one of the many things to do throughout the year to, put ourselves out there on a big stage like this.
Absolutely, and one of our Seal Men students is representing as the newly crowned Miss Indian Oklahoma, Brittany Morgan Hill. We are absolutely proud of her, and we have some other students representing in their traditional dresses today, so it is a wonderful, beautiful day.
It's an honor for tourism to be here representing Muskogee Creek Nation at the Red Earth Parade especially. You know, the thing we do every year is we have a 10 by 10 booth inside the showroom. So, I mean, it's an honor just to be able to spend all weekend educating people on not only the Muskogee Creek people, because, I mean, everyone here is pretty much aware of our tribe, but the thing we get to brag about is everything our tribe has going, from business aspects to all of our recreational needs, anything from our gas stations, everything tourism related. We get an honor to talk about that there.
And as we mentioned earlier in the program, here in just a few hours, if you're watching your clocks, Gladys Knight will take the stage at the Muskogee Creek Nation Festival at the Claude Cox Omniplex. And just before that, and if you really want to see some very historic and groundbreaking things going on at the Claude Cox Omniplex, John Beaver from the Muskogee Creek Nation Cultural Tourism Center, he will ride in for the Altmulgee to Altmulgee Bike Ride Commemorative Trail of Tears. This started in Georgia, Gerald, and has made his way all the way through. And why it's so special and significant to us is not only is it remembering our ancestors and the struggle that they went through to get here to what are our homes now, but you were with them on this trip. And so for us, it's a special treat, a special access and inside look to what was going on for the trip, and you had to have been thrilled to be there to document it.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it was very historical to follow this bike ride from Okmulgee, Georgia to back to Okmulgee, and certainly culminating today at the Creek Nation Festival. John Beaver and Justin Giles, and as well as Andrew Lowe being a part of the historical bike ride. We did get a chance to spend a few hours with them, especially in Alabama, on this rainy documentary footage that we want to present you on the special commemorative Trail of Tears bicycle ride. Jay's on the go. Day 3 of the Okmulgee bike ride, and we're talking with the man here that is the symbol of that bike ride as we go along here, Mr. John Beaver. John, the course today was a little bit of a test, you could say, this morning as we faced some rainfall and a little bit of thunderstorms and everything. How do you feel, and how you feel it's going so far?
Despite the rain, I feel great, feel good. Could probably ride a little more, but we'll see what the day holds. It was all in all, it was despite the rain, a great ride.
We had a little bit of cooler temperatures today, and of course I know that first day, the send-off, a little bit warm, a little bit humid, so not only dealing with the rain and everything, but kind of the changing temperatures too.
Right. I mean, that's something we're going to have to, I anticipate this is something that we're going to have to get used to, that this sort of like a roller coaster of temperatures. One day it might be nice and cool like this, we'll get some rain, and probably the next day 95 and probably 95% humidity. That's what we're going to try to anticipate that.
Even being on the road here, and a lot of people, I'm seeing a bike rider going down the road and everything. I think you've already gotten some honks and a lot of good support just coming down the road, haven't you?
Right, we got a lot of honks and thumbs up. That, and we got a little bit of a dusting by some of the tractor trailers that are going by, but that's to be expected. But lots of support, it seems like, along the way.
So it's pretty much been what you've expected it to be so far?
I didn't know what to expect, actually. So I guess one of the things I guess we're saying right now is expect the unexpected. So it's been, like I said, it was a great ride today despite the rain, and we were just talking, and we want to say Thunderstorm 0, Creek Nation 1 today.
All right, must have to do something with your clan, is that right?
Maybe, we'll hope so.
Right. What is the plan for the rest of the week?
The rest of the week, we're going to visit some historic sites over the next 2 days. Then on Thursday, we'll make our way to Tallahassee. We'll probably see some sites there, hopefully in the afternoon. And then on Friday, I think the mayor of Tallahassee is going to come out, and we're going to visit the site, or come close to visiting the site of Tuckabachie on Friday. So that should be something very special, given that it's on private property right now. So those are the events that are coming up this week. And then on Saturday, June 9th, we'll be at Fort Toulouse in Wetumpka at an event hosted and sponsored by the Alabama Historical Commission.
John, would you almost say to this tour, it's a goodwill tour, so to speak, all the places that you're stopping and visiting and getting a chance to just meet people, and then they meet you and find out a little more about the tribe?
Yes, I would. In fact, I would categorize it that way. It is a goodwill tour, and that was one of the intents behind this project, for people now to put a new face, not just my face, obviously, but a new face and direction for Creek Nation, and we certainly want to represent ourselves as, I guess, as goodwill ambassadors from the Muskogee Creek Nation.
Well, hey, we're going to let you get some rest here because you certainly deserve it and everything. Get a little bit of Gatorade or whatever you need to, and we'll be following you along the way. Just you take care, and God bless. We'll see you down the road.
Thank you.
Day 3 of the Okmulgee to Okmulgee bike ride continues here, and no matter what you're doing, it's always good to have a quarterback. And I think I'm speaking with the quarterback here, Mr. Justin Giles. He's been kind of helping keep the protection of the bike riders as they make their way along the shoulders of the highways throughout Georgia and Alabama. We're in Alabama today, and just as we said, day 3, we just got over a traditional rainstorm here, kind of rough there. The riders make it along okay, and seems to be going okay.
Yes, it does. Today was a good one. We saw the storm coming in, and we know that this stretch of road was going to be kind of arduous as far as the side of the road here. There was a good bit of the road there that was pavement for them, but then I think the last maybe 10 miles or so, the side road for them was all gravel. So, of course, my whole nerves, making sure that these guys are all right, that's basically my duty here. And yes, you mentioned being a quarterback. I guess that's a good analogy, but again, my job out here is to make sure that these two guys are good to go, and whoever else might be joining with us later. But again, I'm just on it about keeping the flashes on and making sure they got water, making sure, again, we're getting some documentation. Your all's help is very much appreciated. But yeah, we're trekking along. We're moving along here on day 3 for sure.
Well, already beginning on Saturday, of course, with the great send-off and everything, and so far, even just a short amount of time, there have been some historical places and some great people that you've met already. Tell us where you've been so far and everything, how it's gone.
Yes, the first day heading out of Macon, out of the Okmulgee National Monument, that was a fantastic day, not only for myself, but for Creek Nation. We had a great showing there. A lot of elders, again, our chief, second chief, speaker, council representatives, our museum committee chair, a lot of elders, again, a lot of citizens that were there too, showing our support. So it was a momentous and historic moment there, seeing all of our people there leaving Okmulgee. And of course, having the local bike riders join us, that was great. Of course, we had the Park Service working with us, and the mayor of Macon made it down there, which I think had a little to do with our police escort that we had out of Macon, which was phenomenal. We had about 4 police cruisers and 1 motorcycle cruiser as well. They let us out of Macon, the city limits, for a long while. They said they were fixing to go with us for as long as they could, but they did a phenomenal job, and there's nothing like, again, having a police escort us getting out of the city limits there. That was awesome. Sirens blaring, the blue lights going and everything, so the first day was great. Got in about, I want to say, close to 70 miles that first day for John and Mr. Lowe there. Those guys, don't ever doubt their fortitude, their physicality, being able to do this. They're men, definitely. Again, dealing with the traffic and here, as we witnessed today, the elements. But after Okmulgee, we had the day yesterday at Fort Mitchell, rode into there. Again, that was a historic spot for us. As far as, again, our tribal towns, some of our original town sites are around that Fort Mitchell site. That's right next to Fort Benning. The original town site of Casita is right there. I know there are some tribal members that were from that town and actually went down to visit there after our Fort Mitchell site. But Fort Mitchell, again, that was a corralling point or a gathering point of our Muskogee ancestors, where they really one of the initial points of the Trail of Tears. So it was great to visit there, and again, with the interpreters there and the Historic Commission there showing us around, again, giving us their interpretation. And our whole point is there to make sure that the Muskogee voice is there as well. And we've done that very loud and clear for them as well. So doors are opening with these sites, with these historic sites and the associations that run it. Now the door's open for us to keep on collaborating and making sure that our Muskogee history is told there in a good way. And again, the better, more perspectives we have about the history that occurred there, the more complete and holistic that story is told, and that's what we want to have there. And again, now we're on to Auburn, Alabama. This is right in the middle of Muskogee Creek country. This is our ancestral homelands. From everywhere we see here, 360 degrees around here, this is our ancestral homeland. So there are a couple mound sites around here that we're going to be looking to go ahead and set up camp here today in Auburn and start looking at our route that we're going to be looking at to go ahead and visit some of these original town sites, again, some of the mound sites that are around here, and plan our day out for the next couple days. So we'll be here in this area for the next couple days, and our next official stop will be at Fort Toulouse, Fort Jackson next weekend on Saturday. That's June 9th. So we're moving along, and this is, for me, been a great experience, humbling experience. I just, again, the emotions that come through. I can imagine our ancestors walking this trail here, let alone me being in a car and looking after these guys. I get tired just looking at these guys bike, but then again, that leads into imagining our ancestors walking this trail here and what they had to endure for us to be here as Muskogee people today. It's an accomplishment, even though it was a forced accomplishment. It's something that we survived and continue to survive to today. So it's a great day to be Indian, great day to be Muskogee Creek, that's for sure.
All right, Justin Giles. Great historic event happening here, and it all will culminate in Oklahoma later this month. Justin, appreciate your time. Keep them safe out there, and we'll be touching bases with you, of course, throughout the course of this great thing happening here.
Murrow.
And that's going to wrap up another exciting Native News today. We're so thankful that you're able to join us this afternoon. And again, we welcome you to come on out to the Creek Nation Festival. Really encourage you. Technically the festival is halfway over because the weekend being halfway over. But Jason, there's still so many great events to catch if you come down to Okmulgee.
Lots of time, folks. Lots of time. You know, we're in the middle of the afternoon here. You have plenty of time to get out to Okmulgee. And if you can't, you know, never fear, because you know us Native News guys. We're going to have lots of footage, lots of things to show you next week on the program and in the following weeks too, because, you know, there's just not enough room to put all of it. We're going to get all kinds of footage from the festival. We're excited to be working out there. If you come out to the festival and you do get a chance, check out the Muskogee Media booth. You might even see Gerald and I out there passing out some pins and shirts and, you know, cups, things like that. We are rebranding around here, so it's very exciting. Excited to get that Muskogee Media name out there, and so very excited about that, and everybody out having a great time at the festival. It's just going to be very wonderful, and we also got some great things coming up next week too as far as our stories. So everybody out there, if you can't make it to the festival, you know where to catch us online, www.muskogeenation-nsn.gov. You can check us out on our live stream there. You can go to our story archive down in the multimedia section. Click on our logo there, and if you can't, Gerald, we got lots of social networking going on. We're on Facebook. Native News Today is our page, and if you want to check us out on Twitter, follow me and this guy and the happenings and whereabouts of us on a daily basis. Go to @NativeNewsGuys. You'll check it out there, or you can just search Native News Today. It'll pull us up there. But Twitter, Facebook, live stream, story archive. There's all kinds of ways to catch Native News Today.
Absolutely, and as always, we appreciate all the input that you give us out there when we meet people out there on different events like the Creek Nation Festival. We appreciate all the input that you give us, and some of the compliments too that you give toward the show. And as Jason's mentioned, it's all toward everyone out there. We just want to make sure those Native News events are certainly covered.
That's right. This show is about you. It's for you, and we are just here to get it out there and get the info about the masses. Right. Take us out of here.
Meantime, you all take care. God bless.
And we'll see you soon. Come on out. Come on out to the festival. We'll see this guy right here. Hopefully he's not as excited as he was about Leon Russell. Or Lou Grant. Or Lou Grant. Well, you missed that one.
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
Indigenous, I was here.
I didn't know Indigenous played the festival.